Sony bought Firewalk Studios thinking that Concord was going to be a major Overwatch competitor, and it's really only been a nightmare for them. Not only have the player counts declined by 42% after the first weekend, but we're also finding out that PC players are having a hard time finding matches thanks to those ridiculously low player counts. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, I tried the free open beta for Concord and absolutely despised it. It truly and genuinely is just a worse Overwatch. If I wanted to play something like this, I would play Overwatch. There's no reason to go to this brand new game, especially with the fact that it costs $40. We're going off of the model that Overwatch did launch on, where it was $40 upfront, but that was back in 2016. They are completely out of touch with the people who are playing these games and their competition, and while they are definitely paying the price, because if this had been a free-to-play title, I do think that more people would have given it a shot because it's Firewalk's first release, and there's not any kind of confidence there, but it seems like it's probably going to be their last because Firewalk Studios Concord had one of the worst launches of the year, and it is getting even worse for the game as the player counts have declined by over 42% in its first weekend. According to data from SteamDB, the game had a peak concurrent player count of 697 when it released on Friday, August 23rd, and the peak concurrent number declined to 402 on Sunday, August 25th. That is a decline of 42.3%. I expected Concord to do pretty poorly just because the gameplay wasn't fantastic, the maps weren't great. It just seemed like a shooter for modern audiences, right? There's nothing with this title that really reeled me in, and I did give it a shot, and now we're finding out that it could not even top over 700 people for launch weekend, and the numbers have, severely declined. I don't think that this is going to be a game that is going to even survive as long as they expected. They said that they have a roadmap for years to come and they have really big plans, and I'm sure that some of that content is going to release because they've probably already started creating it and they have contracts signed. But after that, I don't see a way that they would continue, developing this game. It's the same thing with Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. They said that they had a year-long roadmap and they wanted to do even more after that, but I don't think that they're going to get past that year mark just because it lost Warner Brothers over $200 million. And we do not know the exact development cost of Concord, but even that 100 million figure seems a little bit low because Sony acquired them and went out of their way to make sure that this game would be released. It was in kind of a development hell a couple of years ago. Maybe Sony ultimately had them scrap what they had already created up until that point, and that's why this game just feels so lazy and kind of rushed. Maybe it doesn't follow their original vision, but we haven't heard any reports of that, though $100 million seems even maybe a little bit low for, a game that's been in development for 8 years at this point. But it says as far as sales, estimates range from Game Analytics estimating it sold over 7,300 copies, while VG Insights estimates it sold 12,700, and then Player Tracker believes it sold 13,100 copies. These numbers I personally never really go off of just because they are pretty inconsistent and they do vary quite a bit. We will not know until, earnings calls come out and if Firewalk says anything, but it's just not looking good for them. I mean, with these low player counts, there's no way they can even have matches being made on a consistent basis. As you can see, there's already people complaining that they can't find matches. This is a PC Gamer post. It says this really doesn't look promising. Concord PC players are having a hard time finding matches thanks to the ridiculously low player counts. And I say this with a lot of titles that are clearly targeted towards the modern audiences. They could have shown up. They could have bought this game. They could have had their friends buy this game. This game could be doing, crazy numbers. They could be having tens of thousands or 100,000 people in game, and they could have proved us wrong by going, look, we all showed up, we bought this, we're supporting this and good developers, but that did not happen. Nobody is buying this game, and this is what happens when you market your title to a fabled modern audience, and it's not even a really good game. The maps feel really uninspired, the character backstories are just very generic. Oh my gosh, I was part of this bad evil group and I decided to leave and now I want to be a better person and I want to save the world. And then of course you have abilities that are just blatant ripoffs of the competition that they've got, but done even worse. Like, this game just has nothing to offer you that you can't get elsewhere and better. And everybody is memeing on them now, saying things like, oh no, anyway, get woke, go broke. It isn't hard. Market towards your target audience instead of calling them names for not buying your junk. People are even questioning, why are you guys still covering this? There's no reason to. They said they didn't need us, so tough shit, I guess. It's true. Unfortunately, we see this happen time and time again, where developers that are part of projects say, oh, this might not be a game for you. If you don't like it, don't buy it. We have a different audience in mind, but that audience doesn't exist. Those people are not showing up to purchase video games. So what you've really done is pushed away gamers who might have actually purchased your title and given it a chance in order to chase the fabled modern audience. And well, look where it's got you. You couldn't even top 700 people in your game on launch freaking weekend. This is supposed to be the big new hero shooter on the block, and they couldn't draw any players in. And well, these developers did not take their failure very well, because a Concord developer actually called critics talentless freaks because we dared to question why this game was even made. We dared to criticize the character designs and the gameplay. We dared to have an opinion that they didn't like. This is never going to work out for you. It does not matter if they were a former developer or if they're currently on the project, because a lot of people were talking about this, and a lot of people are going to take offense to the fact that you've got somebody who needs you to swipe your credit card calling you a talentless freak. That is not good business practice to attack the very people you need in order to continue to have a job. So it will be interesting to see over the next few days and weeks if Concord just completely dies out. It, funny enough, had dipped to under 100 players in game during, the Monday going into Tuesday evening, which I know is not a prime time for gaming, but those are absolutely abysmal player counts for this brand freaking new game. So I'll be keeping my eye on it, seeing if they continue to dip, if any other developers melt down on social media over this. But so far things are not going good, because its player count has declined by 42% after only the first weekend. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.